good afternoon, and welcome back to the latest segment of our entertainment show here. As we look at upcoming TV series and movies debuting here in Ireland and the UK this month, and one of the most blockbusting TV series hitting our screens this month is the series Jupiter's Legacy. And Jupiter's Legacy is starring the one and only Akana is starring in that. Jupiter's Legacy, and she's playing the role as Raikou. And Anna, first of all, delighted to speaking to you today. And can you tell us a bit about Jupiter's Legacy and what's in store for all our Irish listeners?
Yeah, Jupiter's Legacy is based on this amazing comic book by Mark Millar. You may know him as the writer of Kingsman, Wanted, Kick-Ass, and it follows the two generations of superheroes. One are the sort of like parents, the older generation in the 1920s, and the origin story of how they got their powers, paralleled with the story of contemporary day and their children, and how their children inherited this role and are trying to live up to the legacy of their parents. So I play Raikou. I am Ben Daniels' daughter, who was born in Japan and is sort of estranged from him, and I kind of hate him. And I'm a mercenary, so I'm an assassin for hire, which is basically my dream come true.
And Anna, you mentioned that assassin for hire, and I saw one of the clips there on YouTube of one of your fight scenes. And tell me, do you have any sort of stunts background or stunts training or martial arts sort of training? Because it looked fairly intense, the sort of clip that I saw in terms of your sort of fight scene.
Yeah, my dad, when I was a kid, my dad put me in adult karate class because he's a military guy. So he was very paranoid. And he was like, if you ever get attacked, you'll probably be attacked by an adult. So when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I would have to like wrestle and fight adult men in this karate class because he wanted me to have a fighting chance if someone ever tried to kidnap me.
Okay, so an overprotective sort of dad, and a good thing to know. Anna, in terms of getting the role in Jupiter's Legacy, Raikou, is there a good story behind this? How did this come about, or is the usual sort of casting rendition?
It was just the usual casting. I feel really lucky. I didn't read the comics until after I booked the role. And I'm glad I did, because if I had read the comics, I loved them. They're amazing. And I feel like I would have been very, very nervous during the audition process. But because I wasn't, I was just sort of a fan of Stephen S. DeKnight, who did Daredevil and Spartacus. I felt very at ease with him.
Yeah, I suppose in terms of Jupiter's Legacy, we've got a sort of certain teams running through. If you're a fan of your history as well, you get a real sort of kick out of this, because it goes back to the quintessential, the first ever sort of superheroes, the first ever sort of defenders of justice. And it's more a generational type superheroes. Now we're seeing these current day superheroes growing up, descendants of their offspring, and trying to emulate, dare I say, their parents' legacy and success.
Yeah, I mean, if you read the comics, you kind of know where the first season's setting it up for this really great Shakespearean sort of dramatic twist. But I loved that the comics kind of reminded me of sort of a Shakespearean tragedy play, and it was all about the family interacting and the sort of resentment that builds up within that core family. So I'm very excited and hopeful we get a season 2, because I was like, oh man, people who haven't read the comics have no idea what's coming.
And I suppose this sort of superhero sort of bracket, it's very popular at the moment. We have the Marvel series and all the Avengers, and that sort of series is so prominent in today's society in terms of TV series on Netflix. So many different pop-ups springing up about it. To be involved as an actress, to be involved in that sort of genre of TV series, that sort of fantasy sort of world, does that sort of excite you in terms of an actress? Do you find that sort of dare I say, a little girl at a candy store in terms of what you can do?
I think that's the perfect description, Jim. I love stunt stuff, like fighting with fake swords and doing rehearsals. I think it's so fun and so cool. I was really sad that my character doesn't fly, because I got to watch all my castmates do wire work and sort of like have to like fly around and learn how to make it look effortless. And it just looked like they were having so much fun. I mean, I did aerial silks in my early 20s, so sort of like the trapeze as well as the actual natural like silk fabrics. And so I love being in the air and feeling like I'm flying. And so to get to see all of them get to do that, I was very jealous, but at least I got to do a lot of fun fight scenes.
And I suppose, Anna, the series was, I take it, was shot in Ontario, Canada. So you sort of finished up there around January 2020. So you sort of avoided the whole COVID pandemic and sort of such. And was that the reasoning in terms of the season two? Because COVID hit there in March 2020, and obviously it probably put everything on a backlog. So projects in terms of series were sort of stopped. So do you think if maybe COVID hadn't come about, there definitely would have been a season two straight off the bat of the season one?
Well, I honestly don't know. I know that Netflix has different metrics about renewing things, but from what I understand, they will renew you, I think, a month after you come out if they decide to pick up a second season. But we were in VFX for about a year. So they filmed from April to January. I was in the fall. And then for the whole time after that, it was in very, very heavy visual effects. So it wasn't even ready until now. So I think we're very fortunate and lucky that we finished prior to COVID so that it could be in post-production the entire time the pandemic was happening. But hopefully we'll find out in the next couple of weeks if we get to go to Canada and do it all again.
And I suppose, Anna, with everything sort of opening up, and we sort of know this sort of market is really, it draws a big sort of fan base, that sort of that superhero action sort of sci-fi sort of universe. So it's never been as much popular as it is now as well. So as an actress, that's sort of exciting because you know you could be, if it kicks off, you could be in for maybe a 4-year, 5-year stint in one particular TV show. So I suppose it's food on the table, as the saying goes, for the next while.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's like so many flashbacks in this show and opportunities to dive deeper into characters. The costumes are the costumes are brilliant. I mean, the only downside of the costumes is if I know I have to pee, I have to give everyone like a half-hour heads up so they can start like peeling the layers of my ninja suit off. But it just looks so beautiful on screen. And I'm so excited. I don't know if you ended up watching episode 8 or 7, but just when they land on that, like that Jupiter's moon and you can see the space crazy stuff going on. I remember just watching it and screaming. So I was like, I can't believe I get to be a part of something this cool.
And I suppose, Anna, I suppose your fellow castmates, it's littered with actors and actresses of all decades, really, just like Jupiter's Legacy. Some pioneers from Kurtwood Smith. We all know him from that 70s show. Josh Duhamel's in it, Leslie Bibb, Andrew Horton, Elena Camporis, Matt Lander, Mike Wade. So there's a different sort of great sort of mix or blend of acting sort of talent in the one series. And did you get to interact with a good lot of these castmates, or were you in a sort of different episodes compared to a good lot of them?
I interacted predominantly with the older generation of the show, so all the Ben Daniels, Leslie Bibb, Josh, whereas the younger generation was just in a completely different storyline. So I never really got to see them except in passing or at the cast party. And as much as I love, hanging out with Leslie and all of those guys, they were very much like, it's bedtime, we want to go to sleep, and I was like amped and ready to party. And I would find out later that all of the younger cast members would go to arcades and go to bars together. So I was just like, okay, I guess I'll go home and I'll like read a book and wait for the day to shoot tomorrow. But it was just so great. Like Ben Daniels he's amazing in The Crown. He's amazing in anything he's in. And he was just such a fun little goofball. Which I didn't expect. And Leslie Bibb is just like a ray of sunshine. And Josh is like very serious and very dedicated and very like inspiring in that way. So it was great to be surrounded by these more established actors who were just so silly and so fun.
And I suppose, Anna, in terms of other sort of projects in the pipeline for 2021, I know you're probably working on 1 or 2 movies at the moment in post-production or filming. Silent Shame and Sticky, I heard, are sort of 2, maybe. Are they in pipeline to coming out in 2021?
Oh, those are script stages. So I'm not
Okay,
sure where
scripted.
they're on IMDb. They're just in the script stage right
Stages.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you any other projects in the pipeline that you are aware of, apart from Jupiter's Legacy, that we might get to see you on?
Yeah, I can't talk about them right now because the
Yeah.
deals are still being closed, but I will be in Boston next month to go shoot another film. And then I have a show with Netflix that I'm actually writing. So I'm very
Okay.
excited about that one.
And I suppose, Anna, if I can turn it over to you now for the last 30 seconds to your character, Raikou, maybe she might enlighten all Irish listeners and audience why they should tune in en masse for the grand premiere of Jupiter Legacy on our TV screens here in Ireland, and what might be in store for them.
Hi, I'm Anna Akana. I play Raikou on Jupiter's Legacy. And if you see me at the very end, all I can say is that Raikou is a very cunning and brilliant telepathic psychic, and she's going to put all the pieces together for you.
On that note, Anna Akana, a pleasure talking to you today. To listen to your inside playing character in Raikou in the upcoming blockbuster TV series Jupiter's Legacy. We look forward to seeing you on our TV screen for the 8 episodes of season 1, and hopefully, please God, for many more series to come. And hopefully, we can catch up again, Anna, when season 2 hits our TV screens. But for the moment, Anna Akana, take care, God bless, and stay safe.
Thank you so much for having me, Jim. It was a pleasure.
Cheers. Take care, Anna.
You too.
Bye.